Okay, guys, welcome back for the next class. We shall continue with the online execution. Firstly, this is how the portal looks. Actually, the portal, what you are saying, it's the Oracle Express Edition 10G. It is the same version what we are using, but this is the not the exact version what we are using. We are using bit different one. This is only a standalone machine what these guys have installed. So standalone in the sense everything will be in this machine itself. If this machine is down, the data of the students who have done their work here, that data will be vanished. All right, so this is the starting page from Oracle. Now, from all programs, go to Oracle, Oracle Express Edition, Oracle Database. From here, go to Database homepage. When you click on this particular icon, this page will come. Here you have credentials. We are following some other credentials. Don't worry, this is just for the login purpose. Here, once we log in, you have different mediums. Actually, this is the administrator portal. So in this administrator portal, you can create users. You can create the other activities like create database users, and so on. This is actually not your part. This is the administrator part. So you need to click here. You will go with SQL commands. So click here. You will see this portal. Can everybody see this? So here, at very first moment, this is the page tab where I can, or window where I can enter all the, this is the command. Just say how many tables are existing or currently present in this system. So there are no tables present. So select start from tab. When I say it's stating that how many tables are present. That is the command what we use firstly. Then we have uh, logged in as database administrator. Only administrator has the privilege to create users. Okay, once create the users, the command to create users is create uh, username identified by password. This is the command which you have to execute first. So username may be something like something, and identified by anything else which is, sorry, anything which I can consider in place of this. Okay, so this is just the username and password. So next time when you log in to the system, sorry, this is not complete. You need to say grant the privileges, say grant connect comma sources to the same user ID and the name identified by password. So after doing this, you will get grant succeeded. Here you will get as these are the privilege commands what I'm talking you. So you say get the uh, result as user created, and you will get as your grant succeeded. Okay. Then after this, you need to say grant create view to these three should be created before you start any program. In our labs, we do this. Once these three execute, then we can start the actual creating the tables. So once these three have to be created in admin mode only, because administrator is the only one person who has the privilege to create users. All right, these things are not there here, so I am not executing this. Once you execute these three commands in administrator mode, then switch back or log in to the user which you have created right now. So you need to log in first to the through the user what you have created right now along with the password. Every lab, this is not the process. Just log in to the user. Only once you create the user, and every time you log into that particular user which you have created. Okay, in the very first lab, you create the users, and then every lab you just enter the credentials of the user and log in. So you can come to any machine and you can work on any particular system. Always you'll be connecting to your data only. That is how we have planned systematically. So first, how to create users. So sorry, create users. Though those three commands which we have just observed, they all are privileged commands. Okay, to assign privileges, we are working on them. Now next we need to go on creating table. So create table, table name. Just give the syntaxes also. So attribute followed by attribute 1 followed by data type. So this is for one attribute. Separate the other attribute and go on creating the multiple attributes. Okay, this is the general syntax of create table command. So for alter table, so alter table, table name followed by, if you want to add any attribute, just say add followed by data type and okay. And if you want to drop any column, so alter table, table name, then drop column, column name. Okay. So imagine if you have constraint, you want the attribute, you want the values of the attribute. If you apply drop to any particular, say maybe any column or maybe a table, the whole values as well as column as well as table will vanish. If I say drop table, table name, if I execute this command, the table along with the values will be vanished. Same way, if I say drop column, column name, in the sense the particular column will be vanished along with the column. Okay, so if I use delete, what happens? Delete from table name uh, followed by condition. Then remember that the column is still existing, the attribute is still existing, but only the values get deleted. All right. That's the fundamental difference between delete and drop. Okay, so the um, syntax of insert is insert into table name followed by values. So here the optional is, here you can give attributes. It's again optional. You may give, may not give. This is again optional, right? This is again optional. Or from here till here, this is still an optional, right? You may give, you may not give. If you do not give, That means you will insert the values in the same flow what you have in the same flow how you have created the tables. If you are giving here in the sense, here you will try to pass the values. In what flow you assign the attributes here, attribute 1, comma, attribute 4, comma, attribute 2, something like this. So the what values you passed will be according to the flow of A1, A3, A4 and A2. If you don't write anything here in the sense, it's the same flow how you the table, right? So I hope I am making it clear. Again in values, I have again two types. It is call by value and call by reference. All right. So call by reference always works with ampersand. Value always does with the whatever I want. I want to pass value like 2 or if it is character type, put it in single quotes and so on. So always if I'm using a call by reference, I need to pass it on value the single quotes. Okay. So this is how I can do the insertion. Then update. So update table name set. So any attribute value is equal to some value, like this, followed by some where condition. All right. Understood? Now, same way, drop delete from table name followed by where condition. Okay. So these are the simple syntaxes what we are trying to observe. And finally, we have a select from where group by having order by, and finally I have, right. So I will execute show today. Okay. So select will have attributes list, will have tables list, where will have conditions, and group by will have group by attribute. This will have group condition, and finally this is by group by. Okay. In out of these two are mandatory, rest all are optional. Okay, I'll tell you the execution of all of this flow by one. So let us start with the our fundamental topic. So create table, say dpt. So I will take dno, say Mary e, followed by dname, say where char of 10. I will write as some constraint called as not null. So only one by one I need to execute. So the moment I say type this, I will get the result as table created. Now I'll go with creating the next table. Good. Say USN primary key followed by name. Name let me consider as, sorry, where char I will take. 10, any size you can take. So also I will give as not null, then I give as semester int, right? So semester I will take it as int, then I will take as PNO my foreign key gives DNO references. So this attribute I am trying to relate to the table to department table and department DNO. Understood? Any doubts here? So the moment I say run, okay, missing right parenthesis. Very good. I appreciate or I worry about more about the errors, because when we are coming across errors, that means our learnings will improve to a great extent. So let me correct this. Any spelling mistakes? Please kindly guide me somewhere if I'm going wrong. IGN, I'm so sorry. Foreign key, the spelling is wrong. Then if I execute this, I'll get my command as successfully executed. Right? So this is the execution of the next table. Same way I will try to create one more table. Here I will take it as subject varchar 10 some, then I will take it as marks, or just say IA marks followed by integer followed by USN, USN is n, followed by DNO. Please remember, when I'm trying to relate primary key and foreign key, there should be a specific same domain should be followed. Else definitely I will get an error. USN references ENCS references to stud table, and stud table which attribute? The attribute is USN. Please remember, the domains should be same, the names should be correct. So here I will try to make grades USN, GUSN in order to just to give a differentiation between them. So again, key of DPNO. It's not like it should be different. Even if they are same, absolutely no problem. It does not make any. But if they are same, then may arise a problem. So in order to resolve that ambiguity, we create like this here. So let me take okay, references followed by PT. So DM. So when I try to execute this, this is also created. Now 3 tables have created. So select star from tab in order to see my tables have successfully created or not. Okay, this is showing or not showing. Okay, no problem. Okay, so these are the different, okay, these are the different executions what I have been carried out, which have successfully executed here. Okay, this is the log table. Don't worry, all the tables have created. Now let us try to insert into, or if you have a doubt in which flow I have created the tables, let me first describe that table. So when I say DPT describe, I will have some kind of information in front of me. Table name is this, column name is this, data type is this, size is this, and so on. So if it is a primary key, it will be given here it as, okay, it is a primary key. This is the primary key. All right. So in what flow I need to enter, I will just check like this. And remember, you might have heard about the word called as metadata in our first chapter. So this is the metadata or abstract data or abstract information of the table what we have created. So this is the table, these are the attributes, these are the data types along with the information about keys and other aspects. Right, so I have the tables like this. In this flow I have created the table. Same way I will try to insert the values into that table. So insert into dpt. So my values will be according to if there are integers, write it outside. If they are character, put it in single quotes. The same formula what we try to use from the yesterday's class. So only one command will execute at one point of time in this portal. So when I run this, I will get my information as one row inserted. So same way I try to uh, create another one with another values. Now just imagine if I try to enter the value with same value, it says unique constraint violated. It says I am trying to insert the values which is already existing. So it says unique constraint violated. So let me give it the other values like this. 3 rows I have inserted. Now finally I will check to display from select star from dpt. So when I run this, I can see that I have inserted 3 rows with these values. Okay, so now let us insert the values in some other table. So before inserting, I want to see the flow of the table stud. So again, I can see the metadata here. Here I can see here this different values. See, in this I have given as not null for varchar, so it is saying not nullable. Even if the value is null, only for these two it can accept, for these two it will not accept. This is the primary key, this is the foreign key, but foreign key can still have a null value, no problem. All right, so now remember, primary key will not be null, but rather foreign key can be null. So this is the flow in what we have created is USN, name, semester and department number. So I will try to insert here, insert into stud values will be my first is USN. So let me start with 111, comma, something like A, B, C, any other name, followed by semester, followed by department number is 1. So when I try to execute this, successfully executes. Now when I try to change this value something else and try to run, first it checks unique constraint violated since the unique value is should be unique, right? So when I try to observe 122 and try to run, it's saying what? Integrity constraint violated, parent key not found. Please remember, yesterday this was not coming. So that triggered me a lot to come back to this lab and tell you about this, because this is what is expected in databases, right? So if you're trying to relate or link two tables with one attribute, if one attribute is not linking with the other, then absolutely it is a blunder. So in order to resolve that blunder, we came to I came back with executing this task to show you guys how actually things work. So now let me change this to some other value. 3 is existing, I think. Now let me run with the some other value. Just see whether it works fine. Yes, it absolutely works fine since all are uh, the correct values. Right. So let me change this to something and this to and just observe. Yes, I'm trying to insert some multiple bunch of records in order to show how things will work in different medium. Right. So this I am trying to just show you in different way. All right. So multiple records I will insert so that I want to show you something and maybe 6. This may be 1 and I will just insert some 10 records and see how things will work, and let us try to observe and understand how we can work on some queries or so. Right, I need some data to play with on, so I'm trying to insert some records. Right, so any doubts before we go ahead? Yes, are going on well. Come on, you need to have one or two comments. If anybody is stuck somewhere, you can just always trigger and ask. Yes, yes, any doubts before we go ahead? I use this word called as commit. Okay, you know what is this? This is if I want to save my data to permanent storage, if it is not committed, then I can use this statement. But here this is auto commit checked in the sense the data once you write, once it executes, automatically the data is committed. Okay, the data is committed in the sense the data is written back or stored in your uh, permanent device or storage. Right. So now let us try to look how things will happen here. Now observe this. I have 10 rows inserted with all these records. Okay. Now same way we try to insert data in grades. For that, let me check. I have created. So this is the growth table. See, all these things are nullable because I did not use any not null here. Here I have two foreign keys. One is GUSN, one is DPNO. All right, so let me insert in this table, see what will happen or how we can play with the data now. So grades values. First is subject. Subject is varchar, so write it in quotes. IA marks maybe something like 30. GUSN is 1, 2, 3. So I need to delete this in order to run in a smoother manner. Now see, it got successfully executed. Now if I try to write something like this and try to run, it's saying what? Integrity constraint violated, parent key not found. There is no department number 9. When I try to write this as something like this, see how things happen. It says this is violated because parent key is not found of the USN. USN 333 is nowhere existing. Right? So yes, when I run this again, it is showing parent key not found. Should be like this. Let me take triple one to see what happens. Yes, triple one is fine, and take triple one two with the department number. and say this is DSA, and see again integrity violated because this value is again not present, right? So when I'm trying to insert the values, I need to be very much sure of what data I'm trying to enter. Okay, this is correct. So let me take this as some other value and observe. This I will take as department number 3. Yes, again I'm trying to insert different values. I'm trying to play with that. Then we shall observe how things will happen there. Right? This is 128. This is 1. Let me observe this. Okay, you understanding what I'm doing? I just want to give you some glimpse of that. And finally, I will say select star from grades. Yes. Let me see what how happened there. So now I have these many rows. Okay, before we go ahead, any more doubts, guys? Are you understanding what I'm doing? Any one or two comments? Are you guys with me? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Yes, sir.
You guys are with
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir.
Looking all to the things practically how things will happen. Now let us start writing queries for this. So unary, when I have only single table, call them as unary relational functions. Then slowly I say binary and okay. So normally when I'm trying to consider any operations, my main thing comes here is join operations. Join operations. All these things we'll study in our later part of second module. Try to understand why join operations are required. Our intention is to make one table from two. So here I have one table. Here I have one table. So maybe this is department table and this is maybe student table. Now when I join them, I need to have as one table. So department and they are joined. In mathematics, we work on cross product. Yes or no? So when you take yes, department and student, when we apply join, we normally go with cross product. You are aware of that? In mathematics, there was not any problem. Absolutely, it was not creating any problem because all the values will be of one particular domain only. But in databases, you see the values are of different domain. Understanding? Now, when you see each one particular table, say grades, when you're trying to observe grades, see the values are of different data types. So values of different data types, when you try to apply cross product, the values keep on multiply. Okay, understanding? So in order to combine the two tables, we need to use join operations. Okay, so join operations are must. So when you join two tables, you should look that only one, they should act as only one table. So when that you're not generating unnecessary unwanted tuples. Now what are those unnecessary unwanted tuples? When you apply cross product, definitely we'll end up with generating unwanted or spurious tuples. The word is called as spurious. Spurious means unwanted tuples. Spurious. Okay, unwanted tuples. Can you guys can see what I'm writing? It is spurious tuples, unwanted tuples. Now how unwanted tuples will come, I will show. So select, we need to have a proper join condition for any table before you join them. So I will show how USN comma PNO from stood DBT. When I run this, see how what happened. Or let me consider name also here. See how things happen here. There are 10 rows present. Is this correct? Is this correct? More than 10 rows. More than 10 rows. Okay. There are more than 110. It cannot be only okay. Display it should be more than 100 if I say. Now try to run this. See how many rows? 30 rows it is showing. How many students are there? There are only 10 students. Correct? And how many departments are there? 3 departments are there. So when you apply any join condition, see that you are joining them with a proper join condition. So join condition was this. Now you see what happens. Exactly, you will have 10 rows of the students. So when I remove this and run, I am getting these values. So these values are nothing but the spurious tuples which are not properly joined. All those values which are generated additionally, they are called as spurious tuples. So these results are generated with respect to cross product. When you don't have a proper join condition amongst the tables, this is how your data will look. Now same way, when I try to add one more tables, here I will try to add one more table with respect to grades. Okay, now see how things happen. Now I want to join grade table here. Observe how things will happen. So I remove this condition, just say run. Now just see what happens. How many rows are there? There are 100 rows are there. Actually speaking, in grades, how many records I had? Sorry. Um, there are how many rows? 6 rows are there. Can you imagine what happened? Okay. See, when I run 6 rows multiplied by 30, I am getting so many rows. Okay. Now let me increase this to 500. How many rows? It should be 120 rows or 100 rows. I think it should be more than 120 rows. I think it is 120. Yes, 180. I'm sorry, 180. 60. 6 into 30. No. Okay, it will add on it multiplies the number and displays. But when you do so, the proper join condition, how things will work, you just observe now. N is equal to GUS. Now you try to execute and see. Okay, column ambiguously defined. Column ambiguously defined. So GUSN, hang on. Yeah, there's one. Okay, USN is present in two different tables. Define here. Okay, let me take the same. Okay, here this was the same condition. No? So let me. I'm just trying to give some more renamings. This should be D. Trying to rename tables in order to prevent the. It's actually not wrong, but still it's throwing an error. Now actually there are 6 rows. Only 6 rows are there. But what was the result when you took 3 tables into picture? When you considered 3 tables, actually there are only 6 rows present, but it was showing 180 rows. So out of 180 rows, 174 are spurious tuples. Only 6 rows are correct rows. You understood what is the problem? The problem is with respect to join condition. So when you are joining 2 tables or when you have more than one table, join them with proper join condition. When you do so with having a proper join condition, then only you will get the results in a correct way. That means there is a department or there is a college of holding 3 departments. In 3 departments, there are 6 students. In in 3 departments, there are 10 students. In 10 students, 6 subjects are being given exam. Okay, so 6 marks only should be displayed. Now let me write the marks also here. The attribute correct. If it is so, it will run. Okay, fine. Now see how things are happening. Understood? So let me check values, how many results I do have. Grades. Sorry. So when I do so, okay, these values are existing in my values. Now see how things happen in the results of this. Okay, you understood. This is the data manipulation language kind of command. The actual data which is present in your database, it will not change. It will just change in the display of how the user is asking for query. In what way the user has asked the query, in that way only the data is manipulated and displayed in front of the user. So the process here is creating. I have 3 departments in an institute. In 3 departments, I have 10 students, and amongst 10 students, 6 students have written exam, and such 6 students' marks are displayed here. Understanding? Understanding? So now let me write 1 or 2 complex queries so that you can understand how I can make the or okay, I'll just write some other things. Say name. I will show this order my name in the sense automatically this will display in ascending order. If I write descending order, sure whether fine. Yes. So name in with respect to descending order. Describe is different, descending order is different. Okay. So if I remove this, by default it is ascending order. If I write it here, then it is okay. Okay. Any doubts before we go ahead? Are you able to understand how your databases play a role? Yes. You guys are understanding, right? Okay. Now comments before we go ahead. Yes. Now, as days pass, you will be familiar by working all these queries and other things. Don't worry, right? Start writing queries of our first module. Sorry, in second module, we'll start writing. Then you'll acquaint with all writing queries and other things. Don't worry about them. These queries, you'll write as many as you understand, right? I'll teach you everything. Don't worry. Now, have you understood this? Now, how to write? I will try to write something. USN comma marks. Okay, I will show how to use group by and having. Okay, one D name I will take. Then I will take department table. I will take. Then I will see what I can do. Just give me a little time. I'll write that query. I'll remove this for a time being. I will say by no. Now I will write count having star 3. I don't think so this will work out. No. Okay, let me change this to stud. Now when I run this, invalid identifier. Okay, I should have dpno. No, okay, dpno, then run. Now see what happens is if I remove this, what happens? Just check. I am trying to group the things according to department. So I have the data pertaining to 3 different departments across. There are 10 students, but across 3 departments they have shifted. So how to group them according to their department? So with respect to department, I can group them or separate them. So so even after separating them, how to apply the condition? So if I say at least students whose count is greater than 2, or before this, let me say count. Don't worry, what I'm count of star in the sense it is a count. There are 5 different functions: sum, average, count, minimum, maximum, count. There are 5 different functions, aggregate functions we say. These functions whenever it is required to count the number of students or count the total strength or take the average of the students or find out the maximum value, minimum value, or any other sum. So on that manner we try to use these aggregate functions. Now just check, there were 10 students. So when we are checking 10 students, the count should be equal to 10. So for department 1, there are 3 students. For department 2, there are again 3 students. For department number 3, there are 4 students. Okay. Now if I try to write like this and execute, it was 3, no? I have only the value of department number 3 whose count is equivalent to 4. If I try to write count is greater than or equal to 3, then all 3 values will come. If I try to write, then see what happens. I will get the value only with this equivalent to department number 3. That means when I take the value greater than or equal to 4, then only the value will be displayed accordingly, greater than and equal to 4. Okay, now same way, any other conditions? Okay, so I will show how nested queries work. Okay, I will try to show how nested queries work. So select name of the student, comma, name and rename we'll try to play on, or let me take name from where dpno in, trying to use some operators. So select dno from dept where dname is equal to now. Can you understand what I'm trying to do here is I am using nested query. Nested query means query within a query is called as a nested query. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is when I execute only this part, I don't know what is the department number of CS, but I want to display the students of name and USN belonging to CS department. Now what I will do, I will write this is in the form of a nested query. This inner query will execute me with respect to department number. Okay, and this set of data will apply here. When I say using an in operator, I will have the set of records of all with respect to this table. With respect to this table, with respect to this data, I will have a list of all department numbers. And this query or this inner query will give me a set of results. Then comparison happens where data is present in both the sites. Only such records are chosen for displaying. Okay, so here CS students are this much. If I write ISC and run, again I have 2 students. Understanding? If it is something like C and try to run, am I audible? Guys?
Yes, sir.
Can you see this board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because there is a power shutdown here, so I thought you guys are not listening to my words. Okay. Uh, does it make any difference? EC is different. Now suppose if I write this and run, no data found. It means what? There are no such records. Okay. Any doubts before we go ahead? Okay, so 3 records here. For ISC again it is. There are again 3 records. Okay. So finally some, so sorry, I have 3 records, display 4 3 3 4 10 records. Okay, so any more doubts? I hope everybody have gone through the slide. All the information is clear. Any doubts? Any comments? This is just the kind of information I will share you one link of XAMPP server, which is freeware. You can install at your home and start working. People who can't access, I'll see to give you some software or so. If you guys who don't have laptop can start working online, but online is giving some problems, which I find that's not the right thing to show online, which is not correct. So I made this plan to show you the things. Any doubts before we stop? Any comments or any doubts before we stop? Anybody have any doubts? Yes?
No,
Yes?
sir.
No doubts?
No doubt.
No doubts. Shall we close for today? Okay. Thank you so much
Yes, sir.
for this class. We'll continue in next class. Thank you.